About 3 weeks ago now, I was casually browsing the Minecraft Seed subreddit when I came across this strange post. Sinkholes breaking Minecraft generation, a seed collection. Looking through the 20 or so images attached, and in my over 11 years of playing Minecraft, I had never seen anything like them before. In the middle of these gigantic lakes were these massive holes containing various unique terrain generation, as well as large structures, almost as if somebody had world edited a hole into the world. To say the least, it was extremely unusual and fascinating. And then I saw this. The most bizarre and broken Minecraft seed I've ever seen, with half a dozen structures generating either in the wrong biome, on top of one another, or all in the exact same location. So what exactly is going on here? Well, the story mostly begins with this seed. In a post only a few days earlier on the Minecraft Seed subreddit, a user by the name of Cracked Magnet shared a seed. Upon generating the world, all seems normal until you approach this large lake. Now, large lakes entirely enclosed by land like so are already quite the rarity to see in Minecraft terrain generation, but upon seeing a massive hole in the lake, it doesn't seem as unusual by comparison anymore. If we swim to the center of the lake, you can see there is what seems to be a large hole with various caves, trees, grass, and of course lava at the bottom, which is at bedrock level. And yes, this is a naturally generated tree all the way down at Y level -46. Let me know if you've ever seen lower. I personally haven't. If we look at the anomaly from the outside, we can truly see how odd the terrain generation is, and it's almost like somebody used the sphere tool on World Edit to crudely form the sinkhole from the outside in. The generation was truly odd and clunky with seemingly no proper flow at all, but hey, because it's so deep you have direct unobstructed access to diamonds if you can swim down from Y level 60 to Y level -30 and mine the diamonds without drowning, that is. Things got even stranger on Bedrock though, with this other seed Cracked Magnet would post only a day later. If we go to these specific coordinates, well, we get the most absurd thing I've ever seen in Minecraft, period. Not only is there a super odd ocean monument, but there is a massive woodland mansion stacked right above it, which is nowhere near Dark Oak Forest, mind you, with a village to the side of it, a pillager outpost above it which ascends above the clouds, and 2 floating aquifers. If we walk inside the mansion slightly, you'll also find a buried treasure, and then below the ocean monument, you guessed it, a goddamn stronghold in what seems to be a suspended cave in the middle of this massive body of water. None of this should be possible in Minecraft. It shouldn't happen. The structures should have failed their biome checks. The ocean monument isn't even in an ocean. The mansion isn't in or near a roofed forest, and yet here we are. Here we are almost at 500k subs. Be sure to subscribe for me, would you? No pressure, of course. So, after seeing the abnormal seeds, another known seed finder, Gero, decided to look for more and would eventually make the post I mentioned at the beginning of the video. I got in contact with Gero to try to understand what exactly is going on and how to find such seeds. Gero used a program called Biomes Viewer to find the seeds. Biomes Viewer is a cool program which creates a graphical interface of a Minecraft seed, allowing you to view the seed's many biomes, structures, and other unique terrain generation features in a top-down bird's eye point of view. The program also allows you to search for seeds with specific and unique properties. Analyzing the seed Cracked Magnet found in Biomes Viewer, Gero noticed that it generated a ring of the lush cave biome at Y level -64. You can see this in game. If we go low enough and fly around the sinkhole in Spectator, the biome is always lush caves. Coincidentally, prior to this, Gero was looking for a seed with a lush cave combined with an ancient city. While doing so, Gero discovered that when the lush cave biome showed up at Y level -64, and there was no ocean or river around it, it meant a lake had formed on the surface of the Minecraft world. So, knowing that Cracked Magnet seed had a ring of lush biomes at Y level -64, and having the previous knowledge that these rare lakes generate when there is a lush cave biome at Y level -64 as well, Gero updated his Biomes Viewer settings to look specifically for this lush cave biome ring. The first set of sinkhole seeds were found using this method, but they were very small, nothing worth sharing with the community. Fortunately though, Cracked Magnet seed discoveries had sparked much discussion amongst seed finders in Minecraft at Home and the Minecraft Seed subreddit discords, who decided to look into the game's code to figure out what exactly is causing these abnormalities to generate. They found that the primary driver for these weird sinkhole seeds is something known as the weirdness value. You can see the weirdness value on the F3 screen here, and in a normal Minecraft world, the weirdness value generally fluctuates between 1.2 and -1.2, rarely exceeding either, mostly hovering around 0 as weirdness is normally distributed. However, as you can see on Cracked Magnet Seed, the weirdness is at a very rare number below -1.2, being -1.9, and this was the key to the Sinkhole Minecraft seeds. And just to clarify, weirdness is one of Minecraft's noise values used in terrain generation, basically having a strong influence in the height or depth of land. You can see here that this graph displays that when certain conditions are met, extreme weirdness values lead to terrain depth rapidly decreasing. There's a lot more to it though, I'll leave an article below if you're curious. So with that knowledge, Giroux went back to the Biomes viewer to search for seeds with abnormally low weirdness values, but there was a problem. Biomes viewer allows you to search for weirdness values between a certain range, but that range was far too big, being from -9,000 to infinite weirdness. So Giroux tinkered with the session files to set a search radius of -19,000 to -23,000 weirdness. Giroux then over a span of a week searched for seeds, getting back over 1,000 with low weirdness, of which 33 to 50% roughly generated sinkholes. Adding a depth biome layer filter to the GUI allowed Giroux to determine whether the sinkhole generated or not. You can easily tell when a sinkhole is present, as there will be a big black circular blotch which you can hover your mouse over to get a depth value. Generally, depth values in the -6 to 7,000s indicate large sinkholes. Because the biome checks don't properly exclude the placement of structures in these sinkholes, often you can find odd structures generating in or near them, which only make them even more interesting. You can check this in chunk base by looking for marks on the map like this and adding in structure filters. But that still doesn't explain how we got that absolutely busted Bedrock seed Cracked Magnet showcased. Well, let me explain, as the reason sinkholes generate and the structures generate all in the same place like the seed are actually related. In Minecraft Bedrock, there are values which determine what biomes generate, what the layout will be, and what structures can generate in that world at specific locations. When a structure is being put into the world, it's given a midpoint with a small parameter of blocks it can generate above and below it. So for example, the midpoint could be 64, going 32 blocks up to 96, and 32 blocks down to 32. The midpoint for structures when they generate is determined by a world's preliminary surface height, which is basically an estimate of the height the highest blocks of stone will be at when a chunk generates. When that surface height is below the minimum world height, which is -64, it outputs the highest number it can, 32,767. When that happens, any number added causes this value to roll over or overflow and become negative, and thus break, leading to structures ignoring the biome check altogether. And why does the preliminary surface height go below the world height? Well, it happens when weirdness reaches unusual values, the same reason the sinkholes generate on Java in the first place. Cracked Magnet has more detailed information in this video here. So is this a Minecraft bug? Well, we don't exactly know. You see, in Minecraft Java 1.19.3, sinkhole generation was actually fixed. However, as Cracked Magnet told me, he couldn't find the fix anywhere in the release notes, and even more strange, without going into detail, for this fix to work, the preliminary surface height still has to break and dip below -64, leading to the overflow, making this entire situation very unusual. If you want to see the sinkholes or play a world with them, create the world in 1.19.2 and generate the sinkhole, and then update it to 1.19.3 and keep playing. So, let's take a look at some of the more interesting sinkhole seeds found by Giroux, shall we? Here's the first, a smaller sinkhole but with a gigantic woodland mansion protruding out of it. Would make for a cool base, in addition with the jungle terrain that is generated down the side of the sinkhole. From a more vertical point of view, the mansion actually looks really cool, isolated in the middle of the lake. Seed 2 here is unique because the lake surrounding the sinkhole is actually frozen. In addition, the random mineshaft platforms look like the beginnings of a cool parkour that could end at this open amethyst geode. Seed 3 is certainly one of the more picturesque sinkholes. Surrounded by a beautiful mountain-sided meadow, you may notice that the water's tint is a much nicer dark blue due to the meadow biome, making the water which spills into the sizable sinkhole look enchanted and beautiful. Just on the side of the sinkhole is a village which has sprawled over right to the very edge of the hole, my personal favourite seed so far. Seed 4 looks quite boring by comparison from above, but what's coolest about this sinkhole is what lies at the bottom of it. At the bottom of the sinkhole is the beginnings of a gigantic ancient city, part of which is entirely submerged in an underwater cave. Seed 5 features a village of which some of its residents were daring enough to settle in, but ultimately is one up by Seed 6, whose village residents were so gigachad that they decided to live entirely at the bottom of the sinkhole itself. Now, this is a sight you don't see every day, an entire village primarily built on deep slate, surrounded by not only lava, but also exposed redstone and diamond ores. As they say, life finds a way. Seed 7 found by Cracked Magnet also showcases a group of villagers tempting fate at the bottom of the Minecraft Earth, although these guys seem more organized. This sinkhole village combo is also surrounded by a frozen lake if that's more of your thing. However, the most unique thing about this seed is the igloo which has generated in the middle of the frozen lake with an entirely exposed basement section. I bet you've never seen anything like that before. Enabling the large biome setting allows us to find some more unique variations of such sinkhole seeds. Here's a Badlands seed with jagged-like peaks sticking out of it. If we switch to Bedrock Edition, there are also some very uniquely broken seeds. Here we have a seed where there's a floating village connected to a small sinkhole, which has a floating aquifer and island right above it with its water pouring in. Then we have a super broken ocean monument sinkhole seed combination, of which the ocean monument has had its supporting pillars generate all the way down the sinkhole into bedrock level, by far the deepest ocean monument I've ever seen. There's also some strange floating water behavior, and not just like floating water we've seen on Java before. This is seriously uncanny to look at. Cracked Magnet actually found this seed only 5 days ago now, which almost rivals the 6 structure one we saw earlier. Now, not only is there a significantly sized sinkhole right at spawn, but there are various aquifers throughout the sinkhole that ascend far above it into the sky, even beyond cloud level. Oh, and let's not forget the absolute extreme survivalist desert villagers who decided that out of all the perfect normal land out there, that the middle of this anomaly would be the perfect place to build. Just imagine casually exploring the desert and seeing this monolith show up in the distance. It would be a memorable discovery, that's for sure. And finally, I'm going to show you a special world Cracked Magnet generated by overriding the weirdness noise value manually. Basically, if the stars aligned, this is how big a sinkhole could get in-game. And Jesus Christ, this thing is ginormous, and even contains a massive village which is quite literally floating on lava at the bottom of it. Now this is true extreme survivalism. The thought of randomly stumbling upon this while playing your Minecraft world is hilarious to consider. I mean, what would even run through your mind? I know that I would probably have thought it was some obscure chunk error or world corruption. A base in the dead center of the sinkhole could look so cool as well. It's very unique terrain. The recent discovery of these sinkhole seeds is awesome, and there are still many more unique ones that can be found in both Java and Bedrock. If we go to this seed here, which is Jaru found, that was generated with the large biome setting, you can see that the sinkhole has removed the layers of bedrock, leaving only the absolute bottom single layer, separating the void and the normal overworld. When this location is analyzed in chunk base, it displays a Y value of -116. This should be impossible, as the lowest a Minecraft world can go is -64. And that is correct, but what chunk base is doing is taking into account extreme weirdness values, which makes chunk base think that the Minecraft world goes down to Y -116 instead. Minecraft most certainly has some code in place to prevent such an occurrence from actually happening, but there is a very small chance that certain seeds where bedrock has been broken, giving access to the void, could be found in the future. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to check out Jaru and Cracked Magnet, of course. Both were super helpful in explaining the technicalities behind how such seeds came to be. Subscribe to me as well while you're at it. Thank you all so much for watching.